guys, what's up? MorpekoTCG here. Welcome back to a new deck check video. Today we're looking at a Slowking single price deck from Stellar Crown. A really cool deck. I played it like 2 weeks ago at a league challenge, got second place with it, and yeah, I want to talk about the strengths and the weakness of this deck and how to play it perfectly with the best attackers for the deck. And yeah, we will instantly start with the deck list. Come on. First of all, we of course play 4 Slowpoke. I'm playing the Slowpoke from Prismatic Evolutions because I like the artwork, but you can also play the Slowpoke from Scarlet and Violet. It's important, you shouldn't play the Slowpoke from Stellar Crown, since the Slowpoke from Stellar Crown has 80 HP, but we need Slowpoke with 70 HP to use it with Buddy-Buddy Poffin, of course. Then we come to our main attacker, Slowking, with the attack Seek Inspiration. With this attack we can discard the top card of our deck, and if that card is a Pokemon without a rule box, we can use any attack of that Pokemon we discard in this way. And which Pokemon we can use in this way, I'll show you later, but it's definitely a very interesting attack since we can use any attack we want with this Slowking. We play Natu. In this case we're playing from Padillan Fields. Yeah, nothing important, we just need it for our evolution Xatu. With its ability we can once during our turn attach 1 Psychic Energy from our hand to one of our bench Pokemon. If we do that we can draw 2 cards, so it's a great energy attachment, a great card draw, and how we can use the 2 card draw I'll show you also with a nice supporter card we play in this deck. For our first attacker we play 2 Kyurem with the attack Tree Frost. With this attack we discard all energy from the Pokemon, so in the case we discard all energy from Slowking. If we do that we can choose 3 Pokemon from our opponent and do 110 damage to each of those Pokemon, which is insane, especially in the current format where mostly all decks are like evolution decks and the basic forms just have 70 HP, like Grimmsnarl, Gardevoir, Charizard, Dragapult, Zoroark, so you can discard, but say knock out anything you want. It's a crazy attack. You can also knock out like bigger EX things, like if your opponent has a Fezandipiti and a Mew EX on his bench, we attack with Kyurem, wait a turn, attack another Kyurem, then we can take 4 prize cards in 1 turn, so yeah, there's quite nice play possible with the Kyurem. We played Hell, aka 1 Bidoo, with the attack Igipol. For free we can do 10 damage and our opponent's item locked. We want to use this card especially if we go second, so we can attack during our first turn and item lock our opponent. We play 1 Tatsugiri with the ability Attract Customers. Once during our turn, if Tatsugiri is in the active spot, we can look at the top 6 cards of our deck and put 1 supporter card we find there into our hand. Since we are only playing 8 supporter cards in this deck, this is really important. I also thought about maybe playing Pokegear 3.0, but I think Tatsugiri is a better way since it stays in the game. No, but not if it gets knocked out, but mostly it stays in the game because the opponent doesn't care for the Tatsugiri and more wants to knock out the Xatu and the Slowkings. Another attacker is Conkeldurr. With the attack Gutsy Swing we do 250 damage. The effect of the attack is not important for our Slowking. 250 damage is of course a nice number. We can knock out many basic EX like Regigigas, Fezandipiti, Mew EX, the Ogre Prawns. Really nice damage we can do with this thing. And of course we also have to think about the weakness. Like if we're playing against the Mega Lucario EX, the Mega Lucario has a psychic weakness, and if we attack with Slowking and use the Conkeldurr 250, we deal 500 damage against Mega Lucario EX, so we also have to look at Pokemon with psychic weakness to use this card perfectly. For the retreat we play 1 Latias EX with the ability Skyline. All of our basic Pokemon have no retreat cost. I think it speaks for itself why we play this card. We also play as attacker Regigigas from Prismatic Evolutions. With the attack Jewel Breaker we do 100 damage, and if our opponent's Pokemon is a Terra Pokemon we deal 230 more damage, so we deal 330 damage, which knockouts any Terra Pokemon except of course Pikachu EX. Like, because Pikachu of course has a stupid ability that if it has full HP it doesn't get knocked out with 10 HP, but we actually have something other in this deck against Pikachu EX. I will show you soon, next time, later in this video of course. And yeah, Jewel Breaker knocks out anything, it knocks out Dragapult, it knocks out Charizard. Just a nice card to have in this deck. As draw support we play 1 Fezandipiti EX with the ability Flip the Script. I think I should not explain why we play this card. If one of our Pokemon got knocked out during our opponent's last turn, we can draw 3 cards. It's a great card draw. I think everybody knows this card since it's played in like any deck except Grimmsnarl of course. Then another very important card for me is Driblim from Scarlet and Violet base set with the attack Curse Spreading. We can place 8 damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon in any way we want, and I played this card because of Shaymin. Because if our opponent plays Shaymin, we can't use our Kyurem since Shaymin's protecting the bench, and yeah, that's why I play Driblim, so we can just put 8 damage counters on Shaymin since Shaymin has 80 HP. I think this card is very important because if Shaymin is on our opponent's bench, the matchups can be really annoying and slow, but with Driblim I think the matchups are very better for our Slowking. Another great card I mentioned at the Regigigas is Haxorus with the attack X+. If our opponent's Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it's knocked out instantly, so that's actually a way to knock out the Pikachu X, since we can't knock out with Regigigas, aka one hit, and it's also a great way to knock out the Mega basic Pokemon like Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Absol. But of course, in a Mega Absol box matchup we have to watch out against Mist Energy, since Mist Energy is protecting all effects of attacks, and of course an instant knockout is an attack effect, so we have to watch out against Mist Energy. But if our opponent doesn't play a Mist Energy, like in a Raging Bolt deck or a Terra Box deck, this card is great. You can just use this card anytime you want, just knock out anything for like nothing. It's really great card to have. Another draw opportunity is Squawkabilly EX with the ability Squawk and Seize. Once during our first turn we may discard our hand cards and draw 6 new cards. It's very good if we like prick with our deck and just want 6 new cards. Yeah, I should not explain this any further, it's just a great draw opportunity. And our last attacker is Annihilape from Surging Sparks with the attack Distant Fight. This attack says that both active Pokemon are knocked out, so it's especially good against Mega Pokemon, like if we're playing, like I already mentioned, against Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Venusaur, Mega, I don't know, any Mega Pokemon where you can take 3 prize cards. But of course we have to watch out, like if we have just one Slowking in the active spot and one Slowpoke or Slowking on the bench, it's a high chance that our opponent could play a Counter Catcher or Boss's Orders and knock out our Slowpoke or Slowking on the bench, so we have to watch out with these cards. You can either play it in late game, where you are sure that you take your last prize cards with this attack, or you should play it if you have one Slowking in the active spot and 2 Slowpoke or Slowking on the bench, so that you not get like totally pricked in the end because you use this attack. Then we're coming to the supporter cards. Like I already mentioned, we just play 8 cards. First of all, we play 4 Lillie's Determination. With this card we shuffle our hand cards into our deck and draw 6 cards. If we have exactly 6 prize cards remaining, we draw 8 cards, which is just great. Before the Mega Evolution I played Iono, so we shuffled our cards, put it under our deck and draw a card for every prize card. Of course with Lillie we can't destroy or disrupt the hand cards of our opponent, but I think Slowking is just a deck that just wants to attack instantly and doesn't care really about our opponent's hand, so I think Lillie's Determination is definitely a better card for this deck, since 8 cards in the early game just feels insane. And our other 4 supporter cards are Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, which is just an insane card. We can search our decks for 2 cards, shuffle our deck and put the 2 cards on top of our deck, and that's what I meant about having a nice opportunity with the Xatu, since we can play Ciphermaniac, put 2 cards on our deck, then use the Xatu ability, attach 1 energy, draw those 2 cards, or we can also use Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, search our deck for Pokemon, put it on top of our deck, then use the Slowking attack and discard that Pokemon and use that attack. So there are many plays possible with Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking. Then we are playing 4 Night Stretcher. With Night Stretcher we can put 1 Pokemon or basic energy from our discard pile into our hand. Yeah, it's a great for this deck, since we are discarding energy with like the Kyurem attack, and of course we are discarding Pokemon with Slowking's attack, so yeah, just perfect to play 4 Night Stretchers in this deck. We're also playing 4 Ultra Ball. We can use Ultra Ball only if we discard 2 other cards from our hand. If we do that we can search our deck for any Pokemon, so we can search a basic Pokemon, an evolution Pokemon, a rule box Pokemon, doesn't depend, we can search any Pokemon with this card. Then we play 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffin. With Buddy-Buddy Poffin we can search our deck for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put it onto our deck. Mostly we want to search for Slowpoke and Natu of course, but of course we can also search for Budew and Tatsugiri, just a nice card, and that's why we want to play Slowpoke with 70 HP, so you have to play either the Slowpoke from Prismatic Evolutions like I do, or the Slowpoke from Scarlet and Violet, but not the Slowpoke from Stellar Crown, since this has 80 HP. Another card search or Pokemon search is the Nest Ball. With Nest Ball we can search our deck for 1 basic Pokemon and put it onto our bench. Of course, we mostly want to use Nest Ball for the high HP Pokemon like Latias, Fezandipiti and Squawkabilly, but sometimes you also can play Nest Ball just for like a Slowpoke or Natu. That depends on the matchup and how your board is in the actual situation. For our Ice Package we play Max Rod. With this card we can put up to 5 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from our discard pile into our hand. It's just a perfect card for Slowking, I think, because yeah, of course we have 4 Night Stretcher, but sometimes it's the case that this Night Stretcher's priced, or we have to use more than 1 Night Stretcher, and then we say, oh, instead of using like 2 or 3 Night Stretcher we can also just play 1 Max Rod for this turn. So yeah, Max Rod is definitely the best card. I've also seen some builds that play Prime Catcher. yeah, can be a nice card to gust the opponent, but I think that the Max Rod is just so much better for this deck. And the last trainer cards for this deck are 4 Academy at Night. With Academy at Night, once during our turn, a player can put 1 card from his hand onto top of his deck, and of course this is perfect for Slowking attacks, since we can just put Academy at Night into play. So let's say this attacker, put it on top of deck, attack with Slowking, use the attack and then do damage. That's why we play 4 of this. It's just the perfect card for Slowking. And in the end we come to the energy. We're playing 6 basic psychic energy for our Slowking and for our Xatu ability. We're playing 3 jet energy to not get first of all stalled, but also in other cases you have sometimes the problem that you maybe attack with Slowking and use a Kyurem attack, and then you have to discard all your energy attached to Slowking. Then you can just in your next turn attach with Xatu a psychic energy from your hand to one of your bench Slowking, put in jet energy on the bench Slowking and put in the active spot, so you can switch, since you can retreat with Latias, because Slowking is a stage 1 Pokemon, not a basic Pokemon. That's why we play 3 jet energy, and our last energy is 1 reversal energy. The reversal energy provides 1 colorless energy, but if we have more remaining prize cards than our opponent, this card can attach to an evolution Pokemon that has not a rule box. Then this card delivers 3 energy from any type we want, so we can attach it and instantly have the energy we need for our Slowking. It's actually a pretty neat card. I also used it one time, really important, in my League Challenge tournament run. So yeah, I think it's a really great card, and I like this card really in this deck. And yeah, that's my 60s for Slowking. I really love this deck. I'm currently thinking about some changes, like I definitely want to get rid of the Bidoof and change it for 1 Shaymin, because the biggest problem I had in the League Challenge was of course Terra Box. Terra Box is not a bad matchup, but of course the Wellspring Ogerpon is a really bad thing, since it can do 100 to our active Pokemon and 120 to one of our bench Pokemon. I mostly had the case that he knocked out 1 Slowpoke and a Slowking on the bench. Yeah, that's pretty annoying, and I actually never used Bidoof on the League Challenge, so I'm definitely switching out Bidoof for 1 Shaymin. And I'm also currently thinking about maybe having some Psyduck inside to block Dusclops and Dusknoir, since Mega Lopunny with Dusknoir is on a winning streak currently, and it can be really dangerous. I know that the Mega Lopunny is of course playing Klefki to block our Psyduck, but I think it just makes it harder for Lopunny, so it's not a bad thing to play Psyduck. It can maybe win some matches. I think if you don't play Psyduck, the Mega Lopunny match is like totally impossible. Of course our opponent can totally prick, but that's a low case, especially for Mega Lopunny, which is actually a great draw. And yeah, that's my 60s, like I already said. Leave a comment and subscribe if you like this deck. There are of course some changes, but this is the list I actually like, I actually love. I love to play this list. And next week is actually another tournament. I don't know if I want to play Slowking. I'm currently thinking about another deck. But yeah, that was the video. I hope you like it. And yeah, I hope to see you soon in another video. Goodbye, my fans.